Hello, my name is Bucci, and I've been asked to share parts of my story of what God's doing in me and continues to do through me as I was diagnosed with a rare eye condition that's incurable back in 2010. I was living in Maryland, and around September 2010, I had just gotten new eyeglasses and my eyes checked, and all of a sudden, within 2 weeks or so, I began not being able to see very well. It was cloudy and dark, and it was difficult for me to read or even see the TV. So I went back to the facility that prescribed my glasses, and they immediately sent me to a specialist. And in turn, that specialist sent me to John Hopkins Hospital. And from there, it was about 48 hours of waiting patiently and a lot of tests, but they were able to diagnose what was going on. And the acronym is PIC, and it is an incurable disease that they don't know anything about. They can treat the symptoms, but that's about all they can do. So that was my first bout of getting eye injections in my eyes every 2 weeks. About 5 weeks into going through this, I felt that I wanted to move closer to Ohio, closer to Ashtabula, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I had already seen numerous divine interventions, but I still wasn't sure what was going to be the end result. So I told my specialist at the time that I wanted to move back to Ohio, but I wasn't going to go until I knew God was opening the door. And within a couple weeks, he had told me he had found me a specialist at the Cole Eye Institute here in Cleveland, and he was a specialist in rare eye diseases, and he also trained him. So I knew that was, God's way of telling me it was okay to come back. I began seeing him in December 2010, on average anywhere from every 2 weeks to the longest I could go was 3 months, having continuous injections either in the left eye, the right eye, or both eyes. And from the beginning, I had always felt God telling me that he was going to heal me. So I began to speak that to my doctor, and I told him, point blank, that I believed that he was going to see some miracles through me. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know if it was going to be just miraculous healing or if God was going to give him a cure. But I knew that, he was going to start seeing some amazing things that would become part of his testimony. Fast forward from 2010 to 2013, I was averaging probably 10 to 12 injections a year, if not more. And in 2013, I had gone in for my checkup, and I knew something was going on, and he had told me that I had lost vision in my left eye, and my vision had become legally blind, which was something like 2200. And after the initial shock and a lot of tears, I went back a week later and just told him that, I really felt God was going to heal me, even though there was no cure. Going back and forth for the next 6 or 7 months, I think it was, about every 2 to 3 weeks, and not seeing any change. To be honest, I did get a little discouraged, but I still was confident. About 6 or 7 months later, I went in for my checkup and was doing the eye chart, and I knew immediately something had changed. My eyesight had gone up to 20, I think it was 35. And I just began crying, and the nurse cried, and I just kept telling her, I told him, God was going to heal me. And he came in and he couldn't believe it. He asked me what I was doing. I just told him that, I've been praying and believing and people are praying. I said, that's all I've done. And he just, encouraged me to keep it up. Fast forward to 2020, January of 2020, I heard God say that this would be the year for 2020 vision. And I guess I interpreted it as I was getting my healing. So I had expectations of that healing. And in August of 2020, it had been 1 year that I had only had one injection. And in August of 2020, I had 2020 vision with my glasses. And since then, it's been one injection through 2021. And so far this year, no injections. He did see some activity in the vessels in January and wanted to give me an injection. And I felt the Holy Spirit quickly tell me no. So I not so quickly told him no, because we tend to believe that doctors have all the answers. He wasn't really on board with it because we both know how quickly the disease progresses and how quickly it can take, my eyesight. But he went ahead and allowed me to come back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, I went back and he took all the tests and he said nothing was there. He said it was gone again. And I knew that God was really working through me to be a testimony to him. And to hear my doctor tell me for the first time in almost 12 years that he was going to continue moving forward. He was going to listen to me and what I felt was best for me, and not solely relying on the x-rays. So that to me was, very impactful. That even strengthened my faith that God is doing something through this process. I've come to realize that sometimes God heals immediately, and sometimes it's a process. There's things that he's using to benefit other people. He's using to strengthen my faith, give me courage to share my testimony. And I continue to believe that, the day is coming when I least expect it, that there will be no signs of the disease. All the scar tissue will be gone. And I will have 20/20 vision without glasses. So if I can give any bit of encouragement to anyone out there to search for God's strength, search for the lessons, search for the testimony. Let him build a testimony in you, and pay attention to what you're going through and how it's speaking to those around you, and your doctors, especially the doctors and the nurses in the medical field who rely solely on what they see through exams and tests. So if I could leave anybody with any encouragement, it would be that, and know that God is with you. Thank you.